take issue with some of these pictures of Brian Koberger, and it's only been brought to my attention since I started looking at this forum. And it's a bit like 4chan, actually, but it's not 4chan. It's not as risque, should I say? That's not the right term, but it's not as provocative as 4chan. This was right at the beginning when photographs were coming out of him, not about him, but and the observations by many people were about his age, that he didn't look 28, he looked like he was in his 40s, and that, I mean, I think they were slightly exaggerating, and that he looked completely different in different pictures. And this is really interesting because he definitely has blue eyes, because I was actually surprised that he had blue eyes, because in my mind he had brown eyes. I couldn't remember, but I think it's because he got dark hair. I just associated it with dark eyes. And I noticed when he was arrested, I saw the paperwork the other day from that day, and it said his eye colour, and I was like, oh really, they're blue. But as you can see, why has this Brian Koberger got brown eyes? Why? He's got a bit of a tan as well. It actually looks quite attractive. But then we have this Brian Koberger. Now he looks like his nose has been broken. More than that. That nose, I've got a similar nose, to be honest. And I'm similar in the bump, kind of, you know, that Roman nose, basically. But this does not look like this nose. And I know this is a slightly different angle. I know he's probably had a rough night there. Looks like he's been dolled up a bit there. But these don't look like the same person. And I keep looking. If you look at the one that really is shockingly different from so many other pictures, is if you get pictures of when he was stopped by the female police officer at WSU, he looks so different. If you get screenshots of that, to how he looks in the pictures of when he's arrested, of when he's in court, shockingly different. Like, what is going on? Let me show you some examples. Like some kind of lunatic, I've obsessively taken picture after picture after picture, like just from the video, just one after another. So they're literally just, I was watching the video on Inside Edition on YouTube, and these are just screenshots. Why does it say GMT? Isn't that Greenwich Mean Time? Why does it say GMT on it? Well, that's weird, isn't it? Anyway, okay, so we have him outside WSU. I mean, is he lost a bit of weight? Is that why he's so different? I mean, look at the difference here. That does look like a 45-year-old man in comparison. Look, he looks really young compared to him. His nose does look more like broken there. I mean, maybe it was broken, just it does not look like it is there. Now, this just looks like an entirely different... Have they just got, like, doubles in or something? It seems just extraordinary how different he looks there. And hasn't he got the brown eyes there? Oh, it's really hard to tell, actually. His pupils look quite large. He's got the old bushy eyebrows on the go. Oops. I mean, look at this guy and this guy. Are they even related? Like I showed my son, I don't think it was this picture here, but it's one of these pictures next to this picture, and he didn't think they were the same person, and he didn't think they were the same age either. He said that this guy, this isn't the picture that I showed him though, I need to find the one I showed him. It's when he's looking up. Let me see, hold on. I mean, look at that. Who's that? Who even is that guy? Do you think he had his nose broken after this? Because his nose looks really different. I think this one's a different guy. They've got the same ear though. They've got quite big lobes, I noticed. I noticed in the WSU picture he's got big Look at the lobes. In fact, it looks like they've... It doesn't even look like his proper ears, like they've put fake ears on him. Because the ear bit doesn't look right. Look, long lobes. But again, this picture is supposed to be... Maybe he does look really different from the front to how he looks from that side. But look. That is astonishing. There. I thought he had his ears pierced. I think it might have been that picture that I showed, or at least similar to that. It wasn't that exact one because it wasn't as dark as that picture. Let me see if I can find it. No, I don't know. It was similar to that one, that one, but it was less grainy and dark than that one. It was clearer. So I showed him that and that next to each other. He said he thought this guy was a lawyer. The irony is in court. And this guy, he thought, like I say, I'm not sure exactly which one it was. It looked more like he was looking up at her. This guy he thought was an actor, and he thinks he looks like Jake Gyllenhaal. He said he looks like the one that you find attractive, the one who plays Mysterio, and that's Jake Gyllenhaal. I never know whether to say Gyllenhaal or Gyllenhaal. It's Gyllenhaal, isn't it? And I was like, really? Because somebody actually in this forum said the same thing, that he looked like him. And he does, actually, in those pictures, but you'd never say he does. He looks like a cartoon character that I'm trying to think of. That's like an eagle or something. No, it's not like an eagle. Oh, I can't think what it's out of. But it does not look the same. It's extraordinary. And I know people can look different in different pictures. But would they get somebody in, a stand-in? Where's the real Brian Kohberger? Will the real Brian Kohberger please stand up? Now that looks more like him, doesn't it? That guy looks like that guy. But lots of the other pictures don't. That doesn't. That guy doesn't look like that guy. Extraordinary. And that guy looks like the lawyer, I think. Now, it'd be good if we could see this side of his face, because he's got a something that I don't know who this is. It's interesting. Really interesting. Oh, that guy, yeah. That's an interesting one. Now look at this. This is the picture that we were shown. It like that was all over the place at first. I saw that. I don't know. I don't know if it's just because I was using. It probably wasn't all over the place. Probably because I was using the podcasting app at the time, and I just saw that over and over again. And now, who the hell's he? Because it doesn't look like Brian Koberger, does it? It's extraordinary. Extraordinary. Watch this. This is from Albrightsville. Let me just hold on. I'll come back to it. I'll just explain. It's from the day, but it can't have been, because it was earlier that apparently they raided the house, and I think this is not first thing in the morning. I don't think. I'll see if I can find where I found it from originally, but listen to the guy that you can hear. There's going to be a police officer, I think he's a police officer, and he's going to walk over to a crowd, more like a group of about, I don't know, 6 people, say, and one guy comes up to him and says something, so listen. Okay, so have a listen again. I really think he sounds like Brian Koberger. It's probably just another guy that sounds like him. It's probably just because it's that same dialect or something. But listen again. Do you hear what he says? Because every time I listen to it at the beginning, I'm really not good with picking out information in things like this. I thought he said I was at the mall, but you may have discerned, I saw it in a comment, and then I realised he says I was the one that called. But then he says so, and then he says something else, but I can't understand what he says. Whoever he is.
You know, there's signal on, so I wasn't sure if they were just waiting. But in that situation, the best thing to do then would be back up. And not. I was just slightly into the crosswalk, so you know, yeah, where I'm from Pennsylvania, we actually don't have like crosswalks.
Oh,
so even if you're kind of slightly there's a little bit more leeway as well. Like there are a few lines. Like there's one white line and there's another one in front. Like there's like a certain margin from which you can actually kind of put your vehicle, place your vehicle. You know, there's signal on, so I wasn't sure if they were just. But in that situation, the best thing to do then would be back up. And not. I was just slightly into the crosswalk.
This is where it originally came from, although I found it on a Reddit post, but this is where that person got it from. So 7:11 p.m. I mean, that's not to say that's just when they posted the video, and obviously it's light, so it couldn't have been that time. So I do not know what time this was. If it was before the raid or after the raid. I would assume it's after, because surely there wouldn't have been an audience right at the beginning, because nobody would have presumably known what was happening, and we haven't seen any footage of the house being raided, and it appears that some of those people are holding recording equipment, but I'm recording this quite a few days after I originally made the videos that you've been watching. I'm just trying to put it all together now. And that the voice, I don't know, I think I'm just talking myself into it that it sounds like Brian Koberger, but it's interesting anyway. Why is he saying I was the one that called? And can anybody discern what he says after that? Maybe somebody's got some good equipment that can make it a bit clearer. So, yeah, I thought it was, I'm glad I found a piece of footage of something in the area, because I haven't seen anything. I haven't seen any media coverage of what happened the day of the arrest in that area. So at least there's something. And so I end up wasting my time doing something really crazy in a minute, which I'm going to show you. I fully admit that I think I've gone full on conspiracy theorist. I just was embracing it a little bit. So you're just going to have to indulge me on this one, or just watch something else. But it's probably because when I watched this bit, I had it on slow motion. So if you watch what he does here, it's probably so insignificant. Probably because it was on slow motion, it appeared more significant. And so I was intrigued as to what attracted his attention, or what made him look like, well, watch anyway.
I understand you're not from here, so if you don't, a lot of people don't know a bunch of laws. Like, I only know it because this is what I do, but yeah. If you're ever curious on any more laws, just RCW. And
when he does that, I wondered if, oh no, damn it, sausage fingers.
If you don't, a lot of people don't know a bunch of laws. Like, I only know it because this is what I do, but yeah. If you're ever curious on any more laws, just
Look, it's like he's So yeah, I'm going to be straight. I'm not 100% sure which way I'm going with this, which way I fall, and I'm still, I like to keep an open mind, so I like to still consider the possibility of, the other side of the coin, the possibility that he was involved in this, that perhaps he had some kind of, I don't believe it could have been in that 8 minutes. I think that would have to be something different happening then, which I'll go into in another video. But let's suspend our disbelief and say, what if he was beginning to have some kind of mental break? Because it's like he's, well, look.
And they can be hard to read because it's in like legal. If you don't, a lot of people don't know a bunch of laws. Like I only know it because this is what I do. But yeah, if you're ever curious on any more laws, just RCW.
It's like he hears something or something, and then watch his eyes go first. And I'm not like, even if this was the case, if you've listened to me before, you know my opinion on any kind of mental health issue, and I'm only entertaining the idea, I'm just considering it. And it's quite interesting, something that Brian Koberger himself, I'll show you in a moment.
Oh, I wasn't trying to
No, not at all. Like I understand you're not from here, so if you don't, a lot of people don't know a bunch of laws. Like I only know it because this is what I do. But yeah, if you're ever curious on any more laws, just RCW and
his eyes go, and then I'll slow it down. I don't know if that's slow enough. I'll try it.
Oh, I wasn't trying to
No, not at all. Like I understand you're not from here, so if you don't, a lot of people don't know a bunch of laws. Like I only know it because this is what I do. But yeah, if you're ever curious on any more laws, just
if you slow it down a bit more.
If you don't, a lot of people don't know a bunch of laws. Like, I only know it because this is what I do, but, yeah. If you're ever curious on any more, like, I only know it because this is what I do, but, yeah. If you're ever curious on any more laws,
So that had me looking in the wing mirrors, but actually there's nothing during that time in the wing mirrors. But then, yeah, watch this, but it might. And also, in the words of Joseph Heller, just because you're paranoid doesn't mean they aren't after you. From Catch-22. So I didn't initially think, oh, maybe he's having some kind of weird voices or anything like that. I initially did think, I wondered if somebody had, let's say that either he did or he didn't do it. Either way, I guess it doesn't matter. So you could look at it from either perspective. But if for some reason people were keeping track of him before, because it's weird, isn't it, all these traffic stops, unless he's just the worst driver in the world. Like the one at 11:30 at night, some around that sort of time, the first one, that apparently was because of not wearing a seatbelt, but it was at night. Do you really notice whether it's, can you see that someone's not wearing a seatbelt at night? We are told that, or I've heard it said, and I've got a video saying just that if you're not from around these parts, if you have a registration plate, a license plate that says a different state, then they'll be on you like white on rice. So, or on you like a tramp on hot chips, as we say in the UK. Maybe he was feeling a bit paranoid. Maybe he had felt like he was being tracked. And maybe it was just... But surely, when people at a university, surely there's loads of cars from different states. I get the impression that a lot of... So that WS, I did a video, or I put out a video of a student, a WSU student, but she was from California. And she did say most WSU students are from Washington, actually. So maybe they do keep more of an eye on you if you're from somewhere else. It's really, it's interesting if that's the case. Because they're rather paranoid. Anyway, in the next clip, it's probably not till about 8 minutes. It's just there's not a lot happening in the whole thing, to be fair, but it did make me wonder. So if you keep an eye on the mirrors, and if you get impatient, fast forward it about 7-8 minutes. Somewhat interesting that the police officer that spoke with Brian Koberger that day was Isabel Luengas, and she was previously a criminal justice student, a student of David Makin. And if you haven't seen the David Makin interviews, those are really worth watching. I'll put them into the description, but you can find them in the IDAHO4 playlist on my channel. So you can see Isabel Luengas there in the middle. And it looks like she graduated. See David Makin. He is somebody you need to know about. And we've got Isabel Luengas, graduating 2018.
Just this for now.
You what?
I'm just gonna get this out for you.
Okay.
So can you, would you explain that to me a little bit further? So in Pennsylvania, when you're stuck like in their intersection, you have to make the left. So what would the appropriate thing for me to have done?
Not.
Just
You're not
up
supposed to
situation.
block an intersection like that in Washington, so just by you blocking the intersection, that's technically a ticketable violation. And then thus, then you're running a red light, so it's another ticketable offense. So you're not supposed to proceed into the intersection until you can go, 'cause a lot of people do what you just did, right? It's like you're sitting in the intersection waiting, and then turns, and then you're blocking, so.
Yeah, there was a little bit of confusion with speeding because someone had stopped. I wasn't sure what they were doing, and then they put on their light turn. So I thought that maybe they were letting me go through.
Oh.
Did you see that?
No.
Yeah, like right before I made the turn, there was someone who like made a right. They didn't have their, their signal on, so I wasn't sure if they were just waiting.
Yeah, so I would just advise just don't enter the intersection until you can go, so you don't get stuck. Let's see.
But in that situation, the best thing to do then would be back up. not. I don't know if there's a best thing to do in that situation, because you're either gonna back up into somebody,
Yeah.
or you're gonna run a red light. So, or you're gonna be sitting in an intersection, there's not really a great option there.
Yeah.
I was just slightly into the crosswalk, so yeah, where I'm from Pennsylvania, we actually don't have like crosswalks.
Oh.
So even if you're kind of slightly, yeah, there's a little bit more leeway as well. Like there are a few lines, like there's one white line, there's another one. Like there's like a certain
Yeah.
margin from which you can actually kind of put your vehicle, place your vehicle.
Yeah. So I know laws vary state to state, but there is a law in Washington for blocking an intersection like that, proceeding through and you don't, when you're just stalling. I forget the actual verbiage, I can find it for you, but it's like stalling, blocking an intersection.
Yeah. I'm just curious about the law. I don't mean to.
Oh no, yeah, I can find it for you. Yeah. One second. That looks good on I don't see Pennsylvania registration like at all. Okay. Let's see. Expires November 22nd. Or 2022. Okay. And
one of those yeah, okay, that looks it. I'll hand that back to you. I'm just gonna go check your info. I'll try to find that RCW, the law for you, and I'll be right back.
Thank you.
Alright.
And I thought I'd polish it off with this, which, as you can see by the top, well, I found it before that date actually, but I wondered if anybody would mention it. It's on Ancestry. And so, you know, the article that I was looking at a bit earlier in the video, so that is the page that this, so when you track it back to where it came from, so I go and end up getting a flipping subscription for the Wichita Eagle just so I can like look, but there is an obituary on that page, but it is not for Brian Kohberger, but there's an article about Brian Kohberger on the page, so it would appear that this is just an AI mistake. But I mean, it's crazy, isn't it? I mean, the death age is wrong as well, because he would have been 27 if he died on the 13th. But this did have my mind going, what the fuck? And could this have happened? Is this why they said there's no threat to the community? Because they know he's actually been swatted in Boise, Idaho. And now I think, no, it's probably an AI mistake. But what a mistaker to make her, eh? Can you believe it? Like, it does seem crazy that the mistake is about such a high profile individual. It's crazy, isn't it? I bet there's not many people who actually watch this bit as well, because people don't tend to always get to the end of videos, so we won't expect a juicy bit at the end. So this is just for you die-hard watchers out there. You're the real watchers, watching right up until the very bitter end. I always put a little tidbit at the end. I always say tidbit, not tidbit. Like, I think I've always said that, and now I feel like I'm saying it wrong, but it doesn't feel right to say tidbit. But then tidbit sounds rude. So, yeah, that's irrelevant. But yeah, this is an interesting little find. It made my blood run cold when I saw it. I was like, what? It's weird. But yeah, if you look back at that article, you can see where it came from. God knows how they managed to jumble the words up into this, though. I mean, it seems like it's somebody's idea of a joke to me. Or did he get swatted? And is that not the real Brian Kohberger? I feel like I keep saying Kohberger wrong. Did I? I think maybe I need some sleep. Right, I'll leave you with that gem. Over and out.